Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for listening to me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to ramp it up, and I'm going to introduce you to a man who from 2016 to 2017 served as a senator and then returned in 2019 and has continued ever since. He was once an engineer and now he is a very popular, very likeable man. His name is Senator Malcolm Roberts, and here he is.
Thank you to the Australian National Review and to the organisers of this Summit on Free Speech. I can't be with you in person because I'm in Canberra, attending the opening events of the 48th Parliament and working with our newly elected senators from New South Wales, Warwick Stacey, and from WA, Western Australia, Tyron Whitten, to hit the ground running in the 48th Parliament. As Senator Pauline Hanson said after the recent election, this is not the end of an election, it's the start of a movement that requires Conservatives and Patriots to set aside political differences, to forgive those who tried to take a slice out of each other to grow their own vote, their own support, and to band together instead against the evil that threatens our beautiful country. Australia is under threat from a parliament that's been captured. Globalist interests continue pursuing an agenda leading ultimately to serfdom for everyday Australians. When the World Economic Forum says, "You will own nothing and be happy," they actually mean the billionaires they work for will own everything and you will be happy, or else. This was never a conspiracy theory. Their annual meetings in Davos spend days explaining how the transfer of wealth and sovereignty will be conducted. Most elements of their control agenda have already been put in place. Continuous hidden facial recognition and identity verification tied back to a digital ID is already in place in Australia. There are no controls over the data, no audits to ensure data is not being copied, and that deletions occur in the correct time frame. The audit that's done looks only at the procedures in place with no forensic audit to see what's actually and really going on. Children under the age for digital ID are being disenfranchised, not just from social media, they're being cut from the internet as a whole. Earlier this month, Bing and Google announced they are trialling a system that prevents anyone under 18 accessing the internet without a parental lock. For those who would defend the idea based on keeping kids safe, understand that evil always finds a way. Protecting children is the role of the parent and should involve educating the child on how to recognize and avoid harm. Above all else, it should involve defeating grooming. And that involves showing our children love and enabling them to feel valued and worthy themselves, thereby preventing groomers from cultivating feelings of being valued and worthy amongst children. These are the Christian values on which our society has been founded. The further we move away from those principles, giving life to an age of needless white guilt, victimhood and immorality, the worse our society has become. I was astonished to read a story a few weeks ago of a child predator here in Australia who met the victims on dating apps. Children as young as 13 are on dating apps. Most of the sites which are of concern, and these are not X, Facebook or YouTube, have apps that the current legislation does not cover. Virtual private networks, VPNs, will become huge. The government's war on freedom of association will have no benefit beyond increasing the tech skills of children so they can continue to talk to their friends. This may involve migrating chats from regulated social media to porn sites like Pornhub, whose forum has over 300 million users. To sign up requires no age verification. Visitors simply click a checkbox saying they're over 18 and provide an email address. That's it. Video games now have chat facility. This is a growing area for groomers to find their victims. These are not included in the government's control agenda. What can we conclude from this situation? The social media ban is not about protecting children because it only protects children from the least dangerous websites. Let me be clear. It's about conditioning the public to accept this loss of privacy and personal sovereignty. It's about perfecting the technology to be used at some point against all of us. And it's about getting children used to government control from cradle to grave. We're seeing the weaponization, the inversion of human rights to justify the loss of freedoms to an extent that just a few years ago would have been unthinkable. No longer are human rights about defending freedom. In this inverted world, human rights are used to limit our freedom, limit our choice of words, limit our right to protest, limit our right to freedom of association and freedom of commerce. This is a move that's an essential precursor to the final stage of their global control agenda, which is the imprisonment of citizens inside home units that are nothing more than human filing cabinets located in prison communities, called variously 15-minute cities, dishonestly labelled as so-called sustainable cities. In these digital prisons, you will not own a car, your furniture, your white goods. Instead, there is the by subscription method, which is well underway. During the government's COVID response, we witnessed these predatory billionaires respond to the virus using their control of the media and their control of corporations like Coles and Woolies to spread fear. Fear that offered as the solution jabs from pharmaceutical companies these same parasitic billionaires own. In this way, $5 trillion was transferred from everyday citizens worldwide to the world's predatory billionaires, all under the protection of politicians who take donations from these crony capitalist companies. This is called crony capitalism, and it's the greatest threat to human rights in our lifetime. The growth of conservative powerhouses such as Reform in the UK and AFD in Germany shows the public have finally realised that the water around them is boiling. The fight for free speech and human rights is the challenge those at this conference have accepted, and that's praise to you. Restoring freedom must start with the people's media, which is rising, yet it won't bring enough people to our movement without improving credibility through more rigorous journalism based on factual data. Self-control is something we adults teach our children, yet often forget to use ourselves. In the Senate, I've prided myself on being factual, and this has protected myself and One Nation, playing a large role in the growth of our electoral support. Finally, as a movement, we need to restore Christian values, biblical values. We do not answer to Julie Inman Grant, the Safety Commissar. We do not answer to Anthony Albanese, nor to the World Economic Forum, nor to the UN World Health Organization, nor the UN. We answer to God. We answer to our communities and neighbours. We answer to ourselves. Good luck to all the award nominees for the Australian Media Awards, and I hope you enjoyed the summit.